Hello and welcome to the Daily Pod NYC by Zebratruth. I'm your host, Thomas Smith, and today we're unpacking the most important stories happening right now in the Big Apple. New York City is bursting with energy this weekend. We will start this podcast today with the iconic events like Manhattanhenge lighting up the skyline and unique festivals happening across all 5 boroughs. What makes this particular weekend stand out for New Yorkers and visitors alike?
It's a convergence of classic NYC moments and fresh experiences. Manhattanhenge draws crowds hoping to capture the perfect sunset photo, but it's also about the shared sense of wonder. Meanwhile, neighborhood festivals like the West Side Fest and Jamaica Bay Festival offer everything from kayaking to art, making the city feel both vast and deeply local.
Brooklyn seems especially lively, with events ranging from concerts at Greenpoint Library to the ongoing Our Lady of Mount Carmel Feast. How do these neighborhood celebrations shape the borough's character and community ties?
Brooklyn thrives on its mosaic of communities. The Mount Carmel Feast, with its food, rides, and the dramatic dancing of the Giglio, is a tradition that unites generations. Simultaneously, smaller happenings like art clubs and block parties create spaces for neighbors to connect, fostering both creativity and belonging.
Outdoor movie screenings are taking over Brooklyn's summer nights, from cozy backyard classics at Charlotte Patisserie to the skyline views at the William Vale. What's fueling this surge in open-air cinema, and how is it impacting local culture?
There's a real hunger for communal experiences after years of isolation. Outdoor movies blend nostalgia with the city's vibrancy. Families gather in Domino Park for blockbusters, while others seek out themed cocktails and rooftop views. It's about reclaiming public space for joy and connection, whether you're watching Back to the Future or Rent.
With first come, first served seating and special perks like ice cream discounts, these screenings seem to have become mini festivals themselves. Are they changing how people interact with neighborhoods and businesses?
Absolutely. Local businesses like Oddfellows Ice Cream and Charlotte Patisserie see increased foot traffic, and people discover new corners of their own borough. These nights turn passive movie watching into a social ritual, strengthening ties between residents and neighborhood institutions.
Thank you. All right, now on to our second topic today. The New York City mayoral race is heating up after Zohran Mamdani's primary win, with calls for Adams and Cuomo to unite behind a single candidate to block Mamdani's campaign. More than 545 New Yorkers voted for Zohran Mamdani, the most votes any Democratic primary candidate has received in 36 years, and the campaign looks forward to growing this coalition. What's driving this push for consolidation, and how has the political landscape shifted?
Mamdani's victory has unsettled established power brokers. Groups that once backed Cuomo are now endorsing Mamdani, signaling a significant realignment. Former Governor Patterson and others argue that unless the moderate vote unites, Mamdani's broad coalition could carry him to City Hall, especially since Adams is running as an independent and Cuomo is weighing his next move. He has received newfound endorsements from groups and people who had endorsed Cuomo in the primary, including the Hotel and Gaming Trades Council AFL-CIO and the 32 BJSEIU Property Service Workers Union. On Thursday, New York Rep. Adriano Espaillat also endorsed him after having previously endorsed Cuomo. Influential Latino leader Espaillat endorses Mamdani in New York mayor's race. Political upstart Zohran Mamdani secured another key endorsement Wednesday, earning the support of the United Federation of Teachers, New York City's most powerful teachers' union, a day after the President of the United States threatened to overtake the 5 boroughs should the 33-year-old be elected mayor. UFT, which represents nearly. Other Democrats have sounded a sharply different tone.
Despite pressure, most candidates seem unlikely to withdraw, and business interests are wary of a Mamdani administration. Laura Taman, a political science professor at Pace University, said it does not look likely any candidate will withdraw, given how candidates such as Adams and Sliwa have indicated strongly that they'll stay in. She said she could predict some scenarios where Cuomo could endorse a different candidate. There just aren't really incentives for anyone to get out of the race because Mamdani looks so certain to win, she told ABC News. How are these dynamics influencing endorsements and campaign strategies as November nears?
There's a sense of urgency among both establishment figures and outside groups like Fix the City, which are still deciding whom to back. Meanwhile, Mamdani is courting business leaders to broaden his appeal. Some real estate and business interests in the city have aligned against Mamdani. There are business interests that think a Mamdani mayoralty will be bad for their pocketbooks, so they have a financial incentive to oppose his candidacy. But the fragmented field, with candidates like Curtis Sliwa vowing to stay in, complicates any straightforward anti-Mamdani coalition. Senator John Fetterman, DIPA, told Fox News' Chad Pergram on Thursday that Mamdani winning New York City's Democratic primary is Christmas in July for the GOP. Everything that I've read on him, I don't really agree with virtually any of it politically, Fetterman explained. That's just where I'm at as a Democrat. He's not even a Democrat, honestly. Fetterman has built a reputation in the U.S. Senate for breaking with his party on politically divisive issues, like support for Israel and immigration reform.
Aha, interesting comment, right? Anyways, turning to city infrastructure, several major developments have sparked debate. Transit and infrastructure changes, bike lanes, bus overhaul, and sanitation challenges, these are all stuff that our fellow New Yorkers care deeply about given the state of the city. The Bedford Avenue bike lane changes, the historic Queens bus network overhaul, and the Department of Sanitation's highway cleanup all made headlines. How do these stories reflect the city's evolving approach to mobility and public space?
Each example spotlights a different facet of urban policy. The Bedford Avenue ruling exposes tensions between safety for cyclists and concerns from local communities, especially where streets intersect with cultural and religious life. The Queens bus redesign, meanwhile, is a massive effort to modernize transit, but the confusion among riders reveals the challenges of change, especially for seniors and non-tech users.
The sanitation team's work on highways is less visible but seems vital. How is this behind-the-scenes effort shaping the experience of city life for residents and visitors?
It's crucial yet often overlooked. Removing 600 tons of trash annually improves not just aesthetics but also safety and city pride. The attention to cleanliness on highways and major arteries signals that New York values both function and first impressions, reinforcing its reputation as a world-class city.
Finally, the case of Mahmoud Khalil, the Palestinian activist suing the Trump administration for $20 million, is raising questions about free speech, activism, and immigration enforcement. What are the main allegations, and why is this case drawing national attention?
Khalil alleges he was detained without cause, defamed, and targeted for his pro-Palestinian advocacy while a graduate student at Columbia. His lawsuit claims the government abused its power to silence dissent, citing harsh jail conditions and public accusations of anti-Semitism. The case highlights the intersection of activism, due process, and political retaliation in a fraught national climate.
Khalil's personal narrative, missing his son's birth while in detention, organizing fellow detainees, and now leading protests again adds a human dimension. What broader implications does this lawsuit have for civil liberties and government accountability?
It's a test of how far the government can go in policing speech and protest, especially for immigrants and activists. Khalil's willingness to seek restitution or policy change sends a message about resilience and the importance of challenging perceived abuses. The outcome could shape debates over free expression, dissent, and the limits of executive authority. Okay, and that's a wrap for today. Until next time, folks, thanks to everyone for listening to the Daily Pod NYC by Zebratruth. If you learned something today or got a little fired up, share the episode, subscribe, and stay tuned. We'll be back with more from the bleeding edge of artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, you can also visit our website www.zebratruth.com and download our app to stay informed and stay connected.